The Joe Budden metaverse is currently having a civil war, and it's insane. Now, the beginning of this civil war started about a year ago.
Like a motherfucker. But I even learned a little from that, right? The fans curse us out now. Oh, you got to take a day off all the time now. Yep. I learned that from their little meeting that they had. Yeah. They was in their little meeting talking about we overworked, I'm tired.
That was Joe Budden confirming that he knew about this secret meeting that Rory and Mal had with other staff members right before they left, where people confirmed they were being overworked and underpaid by Joe Budden. Now, it was supposed to be secret, so it was pretty clear that Parks sold everybody out and spilled the beans to Joe Budden. Now, we all forgot about that podcast episode about a year ago until it came back up last week when Joe Budden did a podcast that belonged to some former staff members, Alex and Savon.
How is it not a secret meeting?
Because we're production. Production always leaves after talent.
When did this happen, first of all?
After recording.
Like what year, I mean? Like
2020.
Like years ago?
This happened years ago. This is the beginning of the end.
Okay.
Beginning of end of phase 3. Okay. The beginning of the very
with Rory and Mal.
Now, what I will say about this quote-unquote secret meeting, it wasn't a secret meeting, okay? It was a Friday night in Queens, and Joe wanted to leave. Joe left early. You happen to just leave. But listen.
Cap in your raps.
How was that cap?
Oh, cap it.
How was that cap?
Nah, get it off.
I'm not going to interrupt you. Go ahead. Joe left early, or was the work done?
The work was done, and
so
Joe
that's
left.
very different from Joe left early.
Alex will confirm to Joe that Rory and Mal confided in him and let him know that they were overworked and underpaid by Joe.
Rory, Mal, it was me, Rory, Mal, Parks, Savon, and
Erickson.
Shout out to E, man. I ain't seen E in a minute. And people were talking about, Rory and Mal were discussing how, they were discussing the workflow. And they feeling overworked, and maybe how we could reposition how to record, or just other ways around it, right? I'm going to be honest with y'all, though. I was confused why them niggas was talking to us. Because I'm like, respectfully, what am I going to do? I'm just keeping it 1,000, but I get it, though. When people have frustrations about shit, any near party, you gonna get it off. I get it. But to me, I'm like, fam, we not no percentage shares and nothing here. We staff for real. But in those conversations, they were just explaining about the workflow. I guess around that time, we started to pick up, right?
Joe will confide in them and let them know he's not really shocked at whatever they're saying because Parks already told him all of this.
Wait, I have a question. How did you find out about this meeting, though?
Oh, involved at that time.
Oh, okay. Because I'm still who snitched, like.
Yeah, Parks told me, or he told Ian, and Ian told me. I don't remember how it went now, but I got it from there. Oh, Parks told me.
Which to me is real scumbaggy by Parks because all the employees had a kumbaya and talked about how they were frustrated. Parks left that meeting and contacted the management and let the management know that the employees were disgruntled. That's like the most scumbaggy company man-ish you could do, bro. Which I'll be real, bro. I would expect that from Parks. Parks comes across as company man who walks in line. But here's the thing, right? Now, even though the conversation they're having appears to be old because Joe Budden already talked about this a year ago, Rory and Mal decided they was going to respond back to Alex and Savon, essentially saying that Rory and Mal brought up the fact that they were overworked and underpaid.
Everyone is an entrepreneur. Everyone has a brand. Everyone has, while all of those things are great, I just think that it causes people to do things that are just lack integrity and just lack morality and things like that. And I'm just somebody that can never trade that in for no content or no, brand. I just can't do it. So it's disappointing to see people, when they say things that they know isn't true, when they, say things just for having something to say, having a story to push.
I'll translate for the folks who don't understand the stoic Maulism. Mal is saying them boys were cloud chasing for some views and clicks. He will even expound further on that particular point and throw them under the bus some more.
Jamal, I have never spoken to anybody about feeling overworked and underpaid a day in my life. Not nobody on this planet have I ever had a conversation with, hey, I feel like I'm overworked and underpaid. I have never said that in my life. Y'all work with me. Y'all know me. I very, very rarely express any grievances about shit. I'm always feel like, if that's what y'all think is cool, let's go with it. So why would I go to somebody that essentially works for me and tell them I feel like I'm overpaid and overworked and underpaid. It just doesn't make sense, bro.
Rory will also co-sign this and double down and say that Savon and Alex were lying.
I was disappointed, along with Maul, was in telling that story, which I expressed to Savon the day that came out. My only issue is that you completely lied. And so did Screen Man. Not at one point during that quote-unquote meeting did Maul or I say we were overworked and underpaid.
I've never
It's
said
what
that in my life.
y'all said.
I've never said that to anybody.
The guys talking to Joe in this conversation, along with Parks and Erickson, were the ones that said to Maul and I, we are overworked and underpaid. So why the fuck is this being put in some weird narrative now that was something Maul and I said?
Alex and Savon would drop a podcast earlier today where they would respond back to the accusations that they were lying on Rory and Maul.
So to be called a liar about something that I didn't know needed to be lied about was a little confusing to me. But again, I get it. We're human beings. And like you were saying earlier, we pull perspective differently.
Yeah.
They will go on to say that it was a misinterpretation and a disconnect, and they will even expound on where they believe the disconnect and misinterpretation of their words came from.
I wasn't there. I can't.
Okay.
This is not my
True.
story.
I want
to
to know
tell.
what happened. I want to know what
Oh, I
happened.
got you.
Okay, let's go.
People, Rory Maul, it was me, Rory Maul, Parks, Savon, and
Erickson.
Shout out to E, man. I ain't seen E in a minute. And people were talking about, Rory and Maul were discussing how, they were discussing the workflow. Oh, that's on the clip. And they feeling overworked and maybe how we could reposition how to record or just other ways around it, right? No lies told. The theme of that conversation was potential burnout and fatigue. Sprinkled in with a little confusion across the board because for the most part, Joe was the only one that was really knew what was going on across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but see, even my fault, we don't know. I'm also assuming that the three of them are having their own conversations about how to move forward or how to go forward. So I do want to correct myself with how I intro that clip. I don't think they necessarily came to me like, yo, I'm about to talk to Alex and get all my shit off. Nah, Joe left. We were all downstairs talking.
And when you say workflow, because I know what you meant by workflow, and when you say overworked, I think maybe that was a misuse of a word. But when you say workflow, I think you were telling the truth. Because a part of their sentiment, and going back to what you said as being not in the know, not really knowing, went from the Spotify and then Patreon came. Patreon came mean we had to record more.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Everybody
And
was
no one understood
recording
it.
more, but didn't know why or what the end goal to recording
I'm
more was.
So they clarified exactly what they meant and admitted that Rory and Maul never came to them and said it word for word, yo, I'm overworked and underpaid. But the sentiment of Rory and Maul was of that, according to them. Now, Parks, the man who sold everybody out and told Joe Budden after the meeting that, yo, we had a meeting, he spoke on exactly what took place, and he said that Alex and Savon were reimagining what took place.
I think that Joe went up there with Savon and they mistold the story. So I understand the other gentleman's reason for frustration with that. I watched their response video on YouTube because I was also upset with the way that was reiterated, retold. They reimagined the story, left out some key details, said some things that people didn't say. They have a right to be mad about that.
Rory and Maul has yet to respond back to the clarification from Alex and Savon, so we'll put that on pause. But there's another beef we have to cover. That's the Rory and Maul and Queen's Flip beef. Because apparently Queen's Flip was on the podcast and he had a little diss at Maul.
All right. Your rating might be really low on Uber Eats because you started out, you had a spark when you started. But now you just garbage when it come to ordering the food. Like, I used to be able to trust the fat nigga in the crew to order some goodies.
Damn.
To order some, like, Sierra goodies.
Last time
And
you
now-
trust a fat nigga, he lived off of you, nigga.
Hold up. Oh.
Huh? And he left your crib when you needed him. Huh? Flip, chill out. Nah, it's just stop. Chill.
No,
Chill.
when he gets sensitive and his feelings get hurt, he exposed something.
Stop.
That was a clear diss at Maul because Maul and Joe Budden used to live together, and it's been a running joke ever since Joe Budden exposed Maul for hiding soap detergent from Joe Budden when they was living together. Now, Rory seen the clip, but Maul didn't. So when they were on the podcast, Rory told Maul that, yo, did you know that Queen Flip just dissed you?
I don't.
Oh.
Flip threw a shot at you.
At me?
Yes.
At me?
Yes.
For what?
I actually don't. I haven't heard it.
He's thrown shots in the past, and I didn't give a fuck. Like,
he threw a shot at me?
Mhm.
See what I'm saying?
I don't think you.
I'll
care
be
about
out the
what
way, bro.
King-
I don't even be.
What is it?
What was the shot? This is what I'm saying, bro. I'll be out the way. I don't talk about nobody.
That's another, and that's why.
Like, what the fuck? Why is niggas throwing shots at me?
You clearly bother a lot of people.
But
How? I'm not
that's
even
been
around. I don't even be around.
Existing more.
What was it? People are like talking about it on Twitter.
That's been, and I've shut up about the Flip thing. I get it. You now it's with your mans and you want to do this and that, rah, fucking content over everything. Maul and I don't speak about you. We don't say anything negative. We don't say anything positive. We don't say a single word. And matter of fact, out of the whole old pod, I was the one that pumped Flip the Script more than anybody. I have been a supporter of everything him and G Money were doing, vocally, publicly, and he knows that. So to just randomly throw shots when we don't say a fucking word about you,
but with
is corny to me.
Listen, man.
Queen's Flip will take to Twitter and accuse Rory of trying to come in between two black men. I thought Queen's Flip was joking with the race war angle, but he wasn't, because he doubled down on that point on the podcast earlier today, where he addressed Rory telling Maul that Queen's Flip dissed him.
Now, I also don't like a white man getting into black people's business and telling me what to do, especially if I didn't speak about him. That's number one. I take that offensive, and I play the race card very well. Because now I'm going to start thinking that the N-word was said a couple of times, and then I'm going to go deeper and try to find some tweets to validate my story. I don't want to do that.
I don't think you'll find those tweets.
I know. I'm just... What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying,
save him a couple hours, but hey,
what I'm saying is this though. Like we talking about, I did see Rory's what he said about me on his Patreon. I heard about it. I have to say that you becoming a part of the problem instead of the solution. Right?
Queen's Flip response. This is gaslighting at its finest. How is Queen's Flip flipping this on Rory as if Rory is in the wrong for alerting his mans that Queen's Flip was on that podcast taking shots at him? But this wasn't even the first time Queen's Flip has taken a shot at Maul. We done heard Queen's Flip on that podcast talk about hiding detergents and fat roommates. So Queen's Flip has been consistent with taking shots at Maul. So him trying to gaslight Rory and play the victim to me is laughable.
When I said what I said, the line that I set up here is just to bother Joe. It wasn't really a shot at Maul, and my subliminal tactics, like Joe said, is really not that good because I didn't think it was offensive. I was taking a shot, and he understood it. Mm-hmm. I was saying, yo, Joe, Joe makes bad choices in friends because that's what he was saying about me. So I said, yeah, just like you let the other fat nigga do that and do this. It was just a conversation between him and I that we had, or with others that I got some information on, and that's what I'm saying.
Bad.
Hold on, nigga. So what I'm saying is that it was never meant to throw a shot because I'm appreciative.
If I was Maul, I would have taken that as a shot. I don't think that's a joking manner. I think Queen's Flip was throwing shots at Maul. I'm sorry. Now, here's the thing, though. Rory is playing chess with these people because while Rory was explaining things, he threw something out there that I believe is going to be really disruptive for the harmony of the current Joe Budden cast.
Everything else is what it is. I just don't like being quiet about these types of narratives.
Yeah.
Everything else can be entertainment, this and that, but don't put something on my jacket when I was trying to put my money up, 40 grand a month that I was going to get to give back to y'all. That's not overworked and underpaid. Like me trying to go out of the goodness of my heart to give y'all money.
People forget
and then this
that
is how
part.
y'all do it. Like it's just weird to me.
People forget.
Rory threw out the fact that he was making $40K a month because Rory knows that Joe Budden is currently going through renegotiating contracts with a couple of hosts. Queen Flip being one in particular who haven't renewed his contract yet. And if I'm Queen's Flip, if Rory was getting $40K a month, I want $40K a month as well because I believe Queen's Flip is just as valuable as Rory. But who knows? We'll see how this particular thing turns out, all right? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, man, to find out about how this Big Pun diss track almost cost Jay-Z his life. Click on this video here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm going to see you guys in this video, all right? Out of here, folks. Peace.